Welcome to the show. Definitely not a podcast. I'm here with Colin, Brabdo, and Forlo for Video Game Book Club. The rules are simple. One person picks a game, and you got to beat that game in a month. Then you get to pick the next game for everyone to play once your month comes around if you beat it and don't lie about it. My game of the month was LA Noire.
That's great.
I wonder why you would have to say a thing like that.
Yeah, surely nothing happened at any point in time where I would have to say that. The game of the month is LA Noire.
Hold on. What's your opinion on the competing book club that has been created, apparently?
It's not worth talking about.
Here's the brass tacks of it. Not only are they a defective book club, they are not the only people to start a book club due to this, book club. You know what I'm saying?
Chasers.
There are trend chasers, but the other book club has been going strong for about 6 months now.
I wouldn't say strong.
They don't always beat their game, and they don't have a podcast.
So what's the point?
But it's still a group activity. It's not as quote unquote serious as this is.
What about the new book club? You have any faith in that one?
The new book club doesn't actually exist. That's a bit. That is a complete and utter bit.
It's Mirror's Edge, dude. That's what I heard.
They're playing Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and they are not going to finish it within a month. In fact, they told me it's finish it whenever you feel like it or whatever. So I don't know what they're doing.
They're not doing anything. It's a bit.
Yeah, they're not doing anything. What are the games you guys have played this month?
Mario 64.
Nice.
Damn.
No Spyro.
No, dude, he's on the shelf.
No Pocket.
Well, of course, I got my
pulled
10
your
packs
packs
every day, dude. I'm looking for 2 cards, and that's it. And I just get fucked every day, dude.
I've been playing that Helldivers 2, apparently.
Mid Divers 2.
It's pretty mid.
Helldivers 2 is sweeping the server. I am not partaking.
It's the worst 2 game we played, dude.
It's a mid. It's mid. I won't lie.
Divinity Original Sin 2 was the worst 2 game I've ever played.
But Path of Exile 2.
Now, that is my game of the year for 2024. Let me tell you guys something, all right? This whole, game of the month too long shit, it is a willpower thing. I work full-time, and I put 192 hours into Path of Exile 2 in 1 month. Now, granted, I don't have kids. I don't got a girlfriend or a wife.
Thank God.
I'm free to do, as soon as I'm done with work, I can come here, play Path of Exile 2, and that's what I did. And that is game of the year for 2024.
See, I would have guessed you hated the game because you bitched a lot.
I bitched so much. The game is difficult. Once you get to maps, though, it's fine. The game is only difficult when you're a little broke poor boy sitting there with your cup of coins trying to get people to help you through the game. And I strongly suggest, if you play Path of Exile 2, to not get any help throughout your first run, because it gives you the Soulsborne feeling when you beat a boss. And parts of the game are unfair, but once you get to maps, it's just like Path of Exile 1. You can just run through things, and you need to use the trading system. It's there for a reason. Either way, LA Noire.
Is that what you're calling it? I thought it was La Noire.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what dialect you're from.
Okay.
It's Eleanor.
R.I.P. Jimmy Carter.
Rest in peace, dude.
The legend. I get a day off because of him. Thank you.
He was married to his wife 77 years, which means that he was married to his wife more years than a lot of people will be alive. So good for him.
Good for him.
Good for her, I guess.
Good for her as well.
What do you mean not for him? He held it down.
He's a legend.
That should be on his tombstone. Jimmy Carter. He held it down.
He outlived his wife too.
So
outlived the queen too.
In the previous episode, we played a 30 FPS locked game.
What the?
And in this episode, we are playing a 30 FPS locked game.
Awesome.
Well, let's talk about that awesome patch that I installed and then immediately it broke the game. If you try to unlock the FPS.
That cannot be docked on the score. That is not part of the game.
I installed the patch. It didn't break anything, but it also didn't give me 120 FPS.
It also did
I wanted
nothing,
it to.
and then broke both versions of the game.
It gave me ultra wide, so I used that. But as soon as I unlocked the FPS, it would just black screen at any cutscene, so it got turned off.
I did not have that problem, unfortunately. But I also didn't get my 60 FPS.
That's why it didn't break, dude.
I guess.
The game is locked for a very specific reason. They put 27 cameras in front of people's faces and had them make funny faces for this game.
I'm gonna be honest, the facial animations kind of hold up.
Dude.
I know they that was the whole thing that they talked about whenever this game came out, which was 15 years ago.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But it's better than a lot of games coming out now. Looks better than that new Dragon Age.
Yeah, because they have no facial expression in the new Dragon Age, literally none. It's crazy.
It's just crazy. It's that long, and it still looks not horrible.
They don't even diagonal their eyebrows when they're angry in Dragon Age. It's wild. I don't know how they did that.
I feel like it's every new game.
It's a little indie company, okay? You don't have to throw shade on
EA.
On EA BioWare, guys. Come on. You guys, their expectations are too high.
But yeah, LA Noire is a game like no other. I can firmly say that. I have not felt more like it's the best cop simulator. I will say that. Yeah, no, I'm hearing ums and ahs. I don't know another game that has that has this much cop shit in it.
I'm sure there's one, dude.
RoboCop.
Oof. What about that?
Oh,
that was pretty good.
Checkmate, dude.
A lot of copping in RoboCop.
Let's see. True Crime New York City. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
That does have lots of cop shit in it. Also, let's talk about the driving. All right,
it's not that bad.
Crashed a lot, and
yeah, I know you did, Frank.
There is an option to not drive. You can let your partner drive. I picked that so many times.
Oh yeah, I almost never drove if it was an option.
Yeah,
it's pointless. I don't want to do. All you want to do is hit doubt.
That's important because doubt is undoubtedly the best one to pick, even if it's wrong. Because you can fail upward throughout this entire game, and doubt is the funniest answer all the time.
Classic.
There's a certain portion in this game where if you press doubt, you threaten somebody. It's a leader of a car ring or some shit like that. He steals cars. Cole Phelps goes full sicko mode and says, listen, you either tell me who the leader is or I'm going to hold you in here and I'm going to tell all the prisoners that you touch kids. That's wild.
That's based.
I think that's based. But
that's
also
fucking insane.
On the driving thing, I have a stockpile of clips of the AI drivers just being fucking insane.
Do they run in front of you, dude? Because they felt like they ran in front of me.
They'll just I'll be driving fine, weaving through traffic, no problems at all. And then in the middle of an intersection, some guy's just reversing through the center of the intersection. And he hits me, he T-bows me reversing. And it's well, okay, man. There's just a guy reversing in an intersection, I guess.
You know it wasn't supposed to be doubt originally?
What was it?
Because it's truth, doubt, lie. It was supposed to be coax, force, and accuse, but they changed it at the last minute.
I do remember. All right, so I do remember that. It unlocked a memory, fucking, because it was coax, accuse, and the last one
force, yeah,
trailer,
which makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Because half the time they're not telling the truth and they're not lying on doubt. They're just being a little bit disingenuous.
And like half the time you click doubt and it just turns into Cole screaming
Well,
for no reason.
You wouldn't know this because it's not the version of the game we played, but if you play the newest version, which is, by the way, locked to consoles, cannot get it on PC, it's actually good cop, bad cop accuse.
Oh, they changed it again?
Yeah.
What the
I had to discover this by going through the Wikipedia. Because there's a ton of content that's not in the Steam version of the game. Like, there's a whole, like, a collectible that's not in it, which unlocks an outfit, which removes one of the choices. It's not in the Steam version of the game.
Wow. I was also mad that you're forced to play all the DLC missions. I think that's kind of goofy.
It was a little wild.
And
they were good missions. Though,
inopportune time that
you think they're good?
Seen.
They were the more they were some of the more memorable.
I think they're some of the worst.
They were the longer ones for sure.
Like, I remember all of them by name, like Reefer Madness, like
that one's okay,
which wasn't that good, but it was kind of cool.
The one at the end is horrible.
That's the only one I don't like. I do not like the factory explosion one.
Because where they put it,
you don't like it because you got bugged in that one. I was there.
No, I don't like it because it destroys the pacing of the story.
Yes, it's like right in the middle where you start playing as the other guy, Kelso, and then they're like, no. Go back to being an arson detective now for no reason.
Shout out Insta-Heat, by the way. Insta-Heat's huge.
We love Insta-Heat, dude. You get yourself a glass line furnace for $500.
What was the other? The console's car. That one's lame, dude.
Oh, that one was lame, but it did have the most legendary guy in it, the old man.
The old man has the funniest face in the entire game.
That's the LA Noire meme. That's the guy.
He's just making the stinkiest face, dude, and it's like, oh, are you telling the truth? Which at the start of the game, I'm like, oh, I don't know any of these faces or what they mean. You know, I thought I had some type of, I wasn't good at reading faces. No, I'm fine at reading faces because as time went on, I started getting a lot more like regular things. I'm bad at the mechanic. Because the mechanic is if you know they're lying, you have to have proof. So if you don't have proof, the most you could do is doubt them, even if you know they're lying.
Yeah.
Took me a little while to understand that one. When they were clearly lying, and I'd be like, lie. And they'd be like, well, wrong choice. I'd be like, oh, damn.
Well, and it's like, and you can choose something that's like close to it. And it's like, it would make sense in like real life. But they're like, no, it's not the exact piece of evidence. So you're wrong.
And sometimes, like, they'll be telling the truth, but it's like a half-truth, so you have to doubt it anyway, even though they're telling the truth. Because it'll be like, Jeff got into his car, and you have to pick doubt, because then it's like, well, Jeff got into his car, and then Sarah stabbed him, you know?
And the worst part is, you really can just pick everything wrong and play through the whole game, which is kind of dumb.
I do think that having the system that they put the most money in, and the system that they put the entire game around it being completely optional to like interact with is kind of silly.
It's like you can die and get shot, which is some of the worst.
20, that's you
can pick the wrong answer for 20 hours and beat the game. It's like I don't know how I feel about that.
You can. Another problem I had with this game's story is that you can accuse and jail whoever you want. Because pretty much everyone you put in jail, like from a interrogation, gets let out anyway because it's not the right guy.
That might be one of my biggest gripes with the game is the homicide part, because you're chasing the serial killer, which really just means you're doing 3 of the exact same cases over and over again
with the size 8 shoe.
Yeah. And then
they all have size 8 shoes.
And then it ends in the most anticlimactic way possible.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of the cases in the game. It's all this build up, and then it's just like, well, good job. Or, yeah, we're not touching that.
Did they wanted to make it like it could have really happened, bro? So they never
And-
caught the Black Dahlia murderer, dude. But what if they did catch him? We just didn't know about it.
Wouldn't matter because your boss would say, "Oh, we're not touching that."
No, he works for the governor.
And throughout the whole middle of the game, like there was no. They kept alluding. They're like, "Oh, this is clearly the Black Dahlia murder," and Cole Phelps knows it, and it keeps putting the player in the position of like, "Oh yeah, no, this is the Black Dahlia murder case." Listen,
All the other characters are like, "You're crazy.
Yeah,
There's
everybody's
no
like,
way.
You're making mountains out of molehills, Cole. You're insane.
Just
You don't
another
thi-"
wife killer."
Yeah. Biggs is hilarious. No, Rusty. Sorry, Rusty. Rusty's hilarious. All right, so we're chilling at the bar, and Rusty's having a little drink because he's thirsty, right? And I'm on the mission
Often.
where I got to find this chick, right? And Rusty is drinking, and Cole's like, "Are you supposed to be drinking on the job?" And Rusty's like, "I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want." So I make Rusty drive while he's drunk, and we go to the girl's house, and there's a note on the fridge that's like, "Hey, this chick sucks, all right? And I'm sorry you suck, but if you get better and stop drinking, then you'll suck less, and I hope that you do that." And Rusty goes, "If my woman was like that, she'd be tasting the back of my hand." And I'm like, "Rusty, you're fucking drunk. Like, what are we doing here?" Hilarious interactions in the another one, like my partner for arson said that he never shot his gun in the line of duty after we just got done shooting 4 people that were robbing a bus station. It's like there's some funny continuity errors.
You didn't like Roy Earl?
The dirtiest
Dying.
cop of all time.
He was a good
Roy
guy.
is an upstanding man that is very charismatic and
Who wanted to kill a man over $50
For
who's
how
neither
because he lost to gambling?
he's neither racist nor sexist. He's just a lover of all people, actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of lovers of people, dude, get the titular character.
Cole.
Cole
Oh,
Phelps.
one of the dumbest things ever. They try to get you to care about this stupid cheating on the wife plot. But why? Like, why would you?
I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why Cole Phelps had intercourse with the German chick.
It makes
Vietnam.
no sense. It just literally makes no sense. They don't even try to make it make sense. They just throw it in there.
There was no lead
It is
up
a little
to
abrupt.
it.
They do drop a couple of, "Oh, you hang out at that German that club a lot. Oh, you're talking to that German chick a lot." They sprinkle it in, but like you never.
But
think
it's like,
gonna
but then
come
you don't
up.
even care because it's like, okay. And then you see his wife in one cutscene and it's like, okay. And then
I
people
just-
are mad at him for one mission and then they're like, well, you're still a good detective. So it's like,
I think it's crazy that we're playing a detective game and how many things, if not literally all of them, we just didn't get down to the bottom of. Like,
no, everything just ends with
the
like,
work, and then it ends. Everything from like I would have liked something like you had
Like I
your,
said, Roy
shady
Earl was gonna
partner,
go
dude.
to
We could
jail.
have, yeah, we
for
could have
being
done
implicated with
something
the
with our shady partner. We could have done, you know,
Like the
it
whole
could have been
Vice Squad
anything.
should have gone to prison, but they did not. He's literally talking at the dude's funeral, like nothing happened.
it's a game with zero conclusion on almost every case. It's kind of insane.
And Cole Phelps was like the perfect cop, and I get like having him be like an epic tragic hero of like this is his downfall, banging this German chick. But like all we get at the start of that mission is him going, "Yeah, I think prostitution's fine," and then somebody going like, "Yeah, everything's fine," you know, but like the governors hate prostitution. Every governor in the state wants you to not have and then he's like banging this prostitute, but he has a wife at home, and his only excuse to his wife was, "You don't know the stress I've been under," which is a pretty shitty excuse. Like,
Let's not lie though. We've heard people make similar rationalizations for various things.
yeah, and I don't want Cole Phelps to be like those people. If I'm upset that I've been controlling Cole Phelps and what he says and what he does for I don't know how long at the moment, like 15 hours. and I get a cutscene where I have to watch the main character that I'm trying to identify with because I'm actually like doing everything that he's doing. I get to choose how he feels on a certain situation, and then he like on his own just bangs some broad. Like,
Yeah, but it's, dude, you gotta understand. He's a cop in the 1940s, and they make it seem like this is some insane thing he did.
yeah, when literally
American.
it's completely fine to beat the shit out of your wife.
Exact, and then the game has the audacity to say he's being charged with adultery.
Yeah.
How many men do you think got charged with adultery in 1940?
That were
None.
cops.
Yeah, none. It's like, come on.
At one point, somebody's like, yeah, what you did was un-American. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
And then you got Roy Earl running around,
Yeah.
Like-
like what are we talking about?
just clocking women in the head, dude. That's American, right?
A complete lack of empathy, too. She's crying and getting shot up with fucking morphine because she's mourning the loss of her friend, and he slaps her across the face. It's insane. Like, the characters in this game are insane. It's
Well,
hilarious.
Dude, do you remember when you go to the club and you interview her and the band?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
the one
remember.
you hit doubt, and he's like, "You better tell me the truth, or I'm gonna send Roy back over here." I'm like, "What the fuck?" But he's interested in her. I'm like, but he's gonna sick Roy. I'm like, what is going on?
So the story revolves around a war hero, in quotations, and he becomes a cop, and he works his way up the ranks until he finds the Black Dahlia murderer, which we've already talked about. Then he gets caught banging this German broad.
Whoa.
Oh,
No, because he
you
gets promoted, dude.
He gets promoted and then almost uncovers an extremely pervasive scandal in the Vice Squad that implicates them with the heroin stealing. But at the last second, Roy Earl digs up some dirt on him, and when he goes and bangs this German chick, then that causes him to get demoted, and the case ends, and it never gets resolved.
And it's important to note that half of the people in this cast went to war together. Like that's a huge theme.
It is a
It's like-
crazy coincidence.
Well, you got to
that
pick up
all
those
these
newspapers.
And not only that, like they were in like the same fucking battalion, which again, like a lot of people went to war in World War II. But like, come on.
Yeah, what are the chances that they all are in the same battalion and they all end up in LA?
Yeah.
It's like,
So like some people knock over this like shipment of morphine, and then it's finding its way on the streets and it's killing jazz musicians because it's the 40s. And there's a lot of stereotypes because it's the
No.
40s.
There's a lot of depictions of racism in this game.
you mean the Hispanic people with the weed?
Where it says Hispanic
You
on the
mean
license plate,
Yeah.
I mean,
The
not the
hop-
license plate.
don't forget about the hopheads.
It says something else on the ID as well.
the IDs of
Yeah.
black people say a particular word as well.
Well, you can say it.
I won't.
It's in the game.
It's Spanish for black. So what else?
I think it's worse if you don't say it.
The one Brabdo, tell me about the one dry cleaner in this game.
Yep, there are 2 dry cleaners in this game, both of which are Asian. That's all. That's just
Definitely played by a white guy. It's Can we look that up? Can we look that? That is definitely a white guy trying to
Look
do
that
a
up.
racist, bad, like
Asian accent?
it doesn't even sound like an Asian person.
He's just mad.
It's like dry cleaning. I'm like, what?
And
Well, the first guy is
has
really
a-
helpful, but then the second time you go to the dry cleaners, the guy's like, "I don't got time for this. I'm busy doing laundry." But like, imagine I said that with a really racist Chinese accent, and that's exactly what it was.
And this game has tremendous voice acting, like from a lot of people.
It's like
Um,
50-50.
There is some audio problems. There are some times where you can tell that it was either recorded offset or in a sound room, or like you can tell this is being because you're like in the middle of like the woods or something, like in the middle of like a baseball field or some shit, and it sounds like the dude's in a kitchen. Like it's bad sometimes.
My issue is mostly with Cole. Just like there's times when it's like nobody would just start yelling. He just starts like even when you can doubt something without him just screaming at the top of his lungs about it.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter who he's yelling at either. He'll yell at teenage girls, he'll yell at elderly men, he'll yell at fucking anyone, dude. He'll just scream at them.
He's based.
He's not based.
Cole Phelps is not the hero that LA deserved. I think he was much more. He's the Batman of this game, dude.
No.
He
was the only one that cared at all throughout this entire game.
There doesn't have to be a Batman in this one, I don't think.
What do you No, Kelso cared.
Kelso's peak.
Kelso's the real Cole.
Kelso went full badass in the last act.
Kelso's going sloppy on the German, He's got this.
Yeah, that whole plot made no sense.
Like what?
I didn't understand what they were trying to do with that plot point, dude.
Kelso and his catchphrase, princess, dude, calling everyone he meets princess.
Yeah. What were they doing, dude?
There is some haphazard storytelling in this game, and the DLC missions definitely make it worse.
That's what I'm like. Bravdo said they were good. I don't think any of them are good.
All of them are fine, right up until the last one.
The last one
placed wrong.
If they could have just put the last one in the beginning of Arson, somehow it would have been fine. I just couldn't get over like the story really starts to pick up, and you're getting towards the end, and they just throw that, and that mission sucks. The ending of that mission is insanely bad.
It just ends abruptly. Like you just shoot people, and then they're like, "All right, good job, everybody. Now back to whatever you were doing before. I hope it wasn't important."
Yeah, go shoot up the fucking hangar at the airport, and then it ends. You don't catch anybody. That's another thing I hated with all the Vice missions. It's just you in gunfights. You're not even solving cases. I don't think you put anyone in jail on the Vice missions.
No, you put the one guy who owned the ice business.
You don't have to interrogate him, though. You just shoot everybody.
You shoot everybody, then you get to him, then you interrogate him. And then you go in the back of the place and you discover the ice blocks full of heroin.
I just remember every mission just being, Gears of War.
And the one thing I think this game is missing is that we never see a trial for any of these people ever.
Well, like, it's you're a detective. You're not a judge.
Yeah, but
or an attorney.
The arresting officer has to go to the trial.
True. That's why we need a Law and Order SVU game.
I would love an attorney game that's not Ace Attorney. I've played most of the Ace Attorneys, and I would like a grounded, like looking like this game, like a Western lawyer game.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, make a better. I mean, they made a Breaking Bad game. They better make a Better Call Saul game. I didn't play the Breaking Bad game, but either way, there is some good storytelling in this game. I think a lot of the twists at the end were great because I forgot about a lot of them. I think that the dude that Dr. Fontaine got to burn down the house and then ends up killing him like a Frankenstein's monster type thing. I thought that was really sick.
Are those really twists, though? I feel like you pretty much know everything like well before you get to the end.
The big reveal is another guy from their battalion, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's what really aggravated me. I forgot about that. Like, oh, this is another battalion guy.
Yeah, Kels, we know him, Cole.
Down in the sewers, dude.
Which adds to the Greek
jump in the shark, dude.
Speaking of which, dude, the most disappointing thing about the end of the game is they give you this flamethrower and it's the worst weapon ever created.
Oh my god, I'm about to go on a fucking tangent.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Anytime you have to use the gun is terrible.
I didn't get no flamethrower. What are we talking about?
You can find a flamethrower down there.
This is
You
gonna
pick
be
it up,
worth
you
the
Speaking of
can't put it
optional
down,
content,
and there's
we need to-
3 people that die at the end. So you have a minimum, like a maximum of 3 people that you're going to burn to death with this flamethrower, but they're out of reach. They just shoot you. So you have to not pick up the flamethrower.
So you pick up this flamethrower and you're in the sewers, right? And you have to trudge through like 3.5 feet of water
While people are
they all
shooting at
shoot
you.
at you, and you can't shoot them back because you have a flamethrower, and
It
it
only
goes
has
2
a
inches in
10
front of
foot.
you.
It only has a 10-foot range. When in real life, flamethrowers you can like.
You could
could
lay
probably-
waste to the whole hallway in one fucking and that's stated in the game. That's the whole point of the fucking game, is that Cole Phelps said, "Hey, go burn this cave," and he lit up the whole cave from inside of it. Why is the flamethrower only shooting 2 inches?
I'm gonna be honest. I carried the flamethrower all the way across the water and then burnt them.
That's
I
crazy.
don't know how you
It's
did
not.
because
You,
they
you can just walk at an angle and they can't hit you.
I got to the hallway 3 times and died all 3 times, and then I said the flamethrower just wasn't
I
meant
said
to
I
be.
didn't want to pick up the
Whoa.
flamethrower. I just shot everyone. I didn't even get to the ladder. I just shot them all.
We talking
in the
about
hallway.
failing missions? What the?
I think I failed some
had,
missions.
I had plenty of missions I failed. I gave up
I
on the
had
failed
some
mission.
people in the group yapping in my ear while that sequence was going down about nonsense. I might add.
I got the
This
most
is why we don't stream the games, dude.
I wasn't streaming it. I was just playing it.
insane chase sequence of all time. I had bro pinned in about 3 seconds. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
The only ones I think I really fit were any of the follow missions, because some of those are just fucking stupid.
I
Especially in the car.
I had so much fun with those. And
Well,
I
if you
would
fail them
them
enough, you can skip them.
I never skipped any, but I did fail them a lot, and it was to the point. I mean, you can ask the people that saw. I would drive in reverse and do zigzags, and it's like, yep, can't notice me, dude, because it just cares about how far away or how close you are. So you can do anything.
There was the one where you have to walk. You have to chase the chick on foot.
There's a couple of those. There's 2 of those, yeah.
Yeah, that one was terrible.
The one with the chick and then the one with the guy, too, who pawned the thing.
It took so long. I'm like, oh my god.
In fact, that might be the worst mission in the game. The boxer mission.
Yeah, because how does that one end?
They let him go.
They let him go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, all these missions they just have the worst conclusions.
And then Roy Earl's just like, okay, I'm just gonna let this happen for some reason.
Well, yeah, the Vice missions are absolutely the worst, I think.
Forlo, you got a lot of content for this game, dude. That poor Insta Heat thing that you just
Talk to me
posted.
about that. I chased that car down in 3 seconds, dude. He was locked. He was locked.
The mechanics and the scripting of this game really show their true colors during the chase missions, because like you're chasing someone on foot, right? But it's scripted so that they have to get in a car and you do a car chase as well. So you can't shoot them.
Or it's scripted that they'll hide behind something and hit you.
Yeah,
so you can box them.
No, that shit pissed me off.
The horrible boxing mechanic. Dude, anything that's not hitting doubt sucks. The driving sucks. Shooting people really sucks. What else? What was it? Yeah, the boxing, that sucks. Chasing people sucks.
Dude, the boxing,
Stealth sucks.
It's like Dark Souls, dude. What do you mean?
No, you could just fucking mash punch and they'll lose.
The
game has a lot of achievements on Steam, I've noticed.
Yeah, if you're an achievement hunter, this is the game for you.
I got 40 achievements through the course of this playthrough.
Dude, you know what sucks? How there's the clues, dude, and half the shit you pick up is, I don't know what I can do with that. Or what's the fucking thing he says? He's just like,
consequential.
Yeah, that'll be a stretch. Or a smarter man than me.
Smarter man than me.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Shouldn't even let me pick all that shit up.
There are multiple ransacked rooms that you have to look for clues in, and those were the bane of my existence, dude. Because there's just shit everywhere. And exactly what you were saying. Also, hallways and I mean not hallways, empty like fields, like crime scenes. those were the worst as well. Because it
Yeah.
could be anywhere. You can skip entire portions of this game if you do the dialogue right, though. Because, like, it'll be like, check this dry cleaning slip. Or, if you get it right, this chick will tell you.
Also, you can miss content in this game by not going to the right place first. And it does not tell you which one you ought to go to first. You just have to know that.
Moreover, if you go to a place, it's like, all right, at one point I had to go on Industrial Avenue, right? And I went to the right place, not once, but twice, the exact building I needed to go into. But because I did not have the exact address, the game did not proc that like flag to open the door. So I wasted a whole bunch of time because even though I knew I had to go to Industrial Avenue, the game didn't want me to yet. And that sucked. I don't know.
How do you feel about the puzzles in this game?
Puzzle Master Corlo, what do you think of the puzzles?
What puzzles?
Terrible.
The only puzzle I can think of is that DLC one with the cipher, which is
So
literally you just spinning it and it just gives you it eventually.
You have to put the 3 gas things in a row.
Oh,
Pop the balloon. You have to.
That was hard.
Yeah, dude. You have to use the calculator.
No, the calculator one pissed me off.
Why?
Because you didn't know you had to crank the handle instead of press the C button.
In what world does C fucking calculate?
I don't know, dude.
It was like 90,000, right? But it was like 1,800,000 divided by 90,000, right? But there was a bunch of numbers after that, so it wasn't 2, right? It ended up being 2.8. So I'm calculating this, and I'm like, oh, 2.8. You don't do 2.8. What they do is it's 20, right? And then they're like, all right, now you have to add this. So they just round up to 21. Shout out 21. And that just aggravated the shit out of me because I'm like, I'm actually doing math here, and I don't have to. I don't know why the game would expect me to actually do math.
All you had to do is input what they tell you and hit the thing.
Yeah.
He didn't do it.
You hit clear?
He cleared it.
That's what C means, dude. It means clear.
He didn't know you had to crank.
But there should be a back button. Like a
Hold
back one.
This dude thinks you need MapQuest still, but didn't realize that you needed to crank the calculator in 1940.
Well, here's the deal.
You were born in a very specific time, dude.
Does MapQuest even exist?
I'm not used to calculators having cranks. Also,
oh my god,
I can't think of the last time I used a calculator that was a calculator. So,
but every calculator we have still, even the one on the computer, the C button
still
doesn't calculate.
I want the crank attachment for the phone, dude, to calculator crank my numbers. All right.
It's because you're not tapped into the 1940s when you had to know that they're mechanical devices that needed to be,
You need to put a crank on your vape, dude.
My bad.
No, I was just being serious.
Dude.
Crank it.
Bring the bug zapper back. That would be wild.
Soldier Boy had it right. Soldier Boy had it right all along.
If I had to like spin a little thing like a generator, dude, every time I wanted to hit the vape.
I think that'd be better. It would really be a hit at flame spinning, dude.
Yeah. This might be like there's not really much to go over when it comes to like difficulty because there's not much, or like story because it's not branching. It's pretty cut and dry.
I mean, it's a game that should have not been a game. Probably would have been an alright TV show.
Well, that's what it's based on, the old. It's called L.A. Noire. It's like old noir films, which I did not. I planned on watching some old black and white detective films. I did.
Well, just watch Noir Spider-Man with Nicolas Cage coming out. Dude.
Just watch the Maltese Falcon. That's the best one.
That's public domain now.
That's good.
This year, you can make your Maltese Falcon horror movie.
I was about to say, can't wait for the horror movie.
Sure, it's going to be amazing.
There is some just wild stuff that comes out of left field. It's like 1 minute you're like checking in your notepad and having a conversation and like scrounging around a room, and then the next minute you're going to the museum or the fucking library and you're hanging from a chandelier and like you're on a movie set building that's collapsing. It's like
that was one of the worst missions. I think that's fucking, what is it, Manifest Destiny? That's the one where you get demoted at. I was like, this is fucking Indiana Jones, dude. This is not a detective game.
Manifest Destiny is the calculator one because has the manifest on it.
But that's the one where you have to investigate. No. I'm thinking of the right one. Or am I not?
You're thinking of the hold on.
No, it's the homicide one.
Right.
No. Is it? Yeah, the Quarter Moon Murders, that one. The end of Homicide.
No, the Quarter Moon. That's the one with the Dahlia murder at the end.
Yeah, but that's the one where you have to like go to the Hall of Records and climb the chandelier.
Yes, the chandelier. The chandelier sucked.
That shit's you're just, everything you do in that thing sucks. The set's collapsing as you're searching for clues I'm like, this is fucking Indiana Jones, dude. This is not a detective game.
Oh, I will say, I think the Naked City is the worst mission.
I was just gonna say that, dude. I was like, because that's the one where the dude just jumps out the window at the end, right?
Yeah, you go to the Dr. Stone man, and he jumps out the window at the end. That one sucked.
Another DLC mission.
Okay, maybe you might. Maybe the DLC missions are bad. I liked Reefer Madness though.
It's like is good. They're okay. Some of them, I guess, they're okay. The problem is they just make you play them. The game would be like 5 hours shorter if you didn't have to play them.
I will say that the evil scheme at the base of this game is ingenious. Taking a bunch of heroin, giving it to people, and then fencing the heroin money by investing into shoddy buildings that are meant to be destroyed anyway, so a highway system can go through it, taking all the government's money. That's a lot of fucking moving parts, dude. That's a really complex plan.
And they would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for that damn Cole Phelps.
Wait, they did get away with it. Does it? It doesn't really tell you that they did stop doing it.
Well, no, the old guy from Fringe gets, first of all, he gets shot in the leg, but he gets in trouble because that's how the other guy runs for DA. But all of the people that were in the Vice Squad apparently get let off scot-free because they're speaking at the guy's funeral.
And the mayor.
Who I don't know if
next you'll be calling Richard Nixon a crook.
That line was actually gas, though. There's some funny lines in this game.
Isn't that by the pedo? Doesn't the pedo guy say that? You know what I'm talking about, the guy.
Yeah, which is a wild off the wall thing that you could
optional content.
You could skip that too. You could just not open that door.
Dude, that's like that one mission in type like Call of Duty that says that you could skip. That was like one of those situations.
She said, "I'm nearly 13."
Because I'm almost 13. What? With that? When I saw it, I was
wild. And then he has the audacity to go, "Well, I'm looking for love anywhere." Like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
She'll just come back.
They paint the situation in a rather neutral light, which is very disturbing. But also, obviously, you're supposed to take away from it like super negative. Like the guy's obviously a gigantic piece of shit.
He
like for wanting to murder you, but then they just sprinkle that in on top of it.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really think they made Kelso not like it, but they kind of let it go.
I mean,
I don't think that guy gets even in trouble.
No, he must
slap on the wrist.
He must because he was part of he was on the insurance claim stuff. So when the other guy goes,
that's not even the worst thing he did.
We don't know if Kelso.
He probably didn't even get arrested for that.
Like we didn't. I don't think this game should be longer. I think it ended at the right spot, but it could have had like a little slide of like, and this guy got 30 years, and this guy went to jail, and this guy like fucking hung himself. You know, like one of those like.
And what about the dude from the homeless shelter?
What about Pickles, dude?
Yeah, what about Pickles?
There are some guys from the early cases that show up in the optional street missions.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a few. I don't remember which one specifically, but I was like, wait a second, this is that guy from that other case.
That's like the whole game, though, dude. All the missions end, and you have no fucking clue how it actually ends. They just tell you "good job," and then you go do the next thing, and that's how the game ends too. You have no idea. Also, Cole Phelps dies in the lamest way possible. Goodbye. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it is kind of
Gets
lame. You think it would be
washed
like
away by
some
the
crazy
series,
shootout or
dude.
something, but literally just water.
He died a hero.
And he saved Jack Kelso so he could continue to bang that German chick in his position.
Well, no, she doesn't even like him.
Well,
You
no,
weren't
I
his
thought-
friend.
I
fucking
thought
dead,
that
dude. That
my headcanon is they get together in the end.
No, I don't think so. She was mad that he even came to the funeral.
No, she was mad at the other guy, the vice guy.
Also, he smacked that German chick really fucking hard with that crystal ball, dude. I don't know how she's all right.
He did clock her one pretty good
It was,
there.
it was brutal.
He was gonna finish the job, but then the flamethrower dude shows up at the exact perfect time.
But
Frankenstein.
I don't think that he needed to bang the German chick at all for this still to be a tragedy. Because the whole idea is that he told this dude to go into the cave and light a bunch of people on fire. And that made him crazy, which led into this whole turn of events. That's enough. Why ruin the character?
You know, at least the music in this game is good.
Wait, what character did it ruin?
It ruined Cole Phelps because you don't even get to see. You know that Cole Phelps has a wife. Like frame 1 in this game, you don't see her until she's pissed at you. You never see a cutscene of him going home to his wife. That's another thing.
They do talk about. He does talk about his wife.
Yeah,
Well,
but
somewhat, but
if like maybe you start a mission every now and again, and you're like leaving your actual house and putting on your uniform, and she's like, "Have a nice day, honey," or like fucking.
well, that was my biggest issue because they try to make it seem like that whole thing because that's like why you get demoted and why you go to arson. Like they make it as like a big thing, but you don't give a fuck because
I
It's
think
the only thing you didn't even
needed a
fucking
reason.
do.
the wife's not even a part of the game until like the big like turning point. But why would you care about something that was not involved in the game for the last 15 hours?
True.
And then everybody, it goes from everybody on the street being like, "Oh, that's the hero cop that did this," to, "Oh, that's the dirty cop that cheated
Every
on his wife."
single
That's
person
not
on the
dirty.
street knows who Cole Phelps is crazy. How many detectives
Dude,
do you know in
There
your
were so
in your
many
area?
times as well
name.
where like that's one of the continuity ones that isn't very helpful. It's like go spy on this person, go be incognito, and I go sneak behind them and sit on a bench and pull up a newspaper, and someone goes, "Holy shit, that's Cole Phelps over there! That's the famous cop!" And I'm like, "What the?"
Like,
Good
how do
thing
they
you're reading
know?
that
They just-
newspaper, or you'd be caught.
Yeah, dude. Thank goodness.
Also, if olive oil is made out of olives,
What's baby oil made out of? Ask
what's
P. Diddy.
baby oil made out of?
True.
There is a lot of repeat banter in this game. And really, there's not much else to talk about. Like, it's a pretty straightforward game.
What was your opinion on the gunplay?
I didn't mind it.
For how old it is, the fact that it like shoots remotely straight is fire to me. Like I thought it was gonna be some jank ass like.
I think it's pretty
jank.
jank. I don't know.
It is jank. It is. Don't get me wrong. But like I thought it would be like really bad. Like you're pretty much hip firing and that shit kind of go. At least it follows the reticle for the most part. It's just the range is jank. Like your bullets go from bullet to not bullet at a certain distance.
I think there was just too much of it.
And that infuriates me, the bullet to not bullet thing.
Well, but
because-
they don't have that, so they can shoot you while you can't shoot them.
Yeah.
And that's a little weird.
Because it's like, I'll be shooting somebody and I'll be doming them from fucking a mile away, and Cole will be like, "It's not an effective range," or some shit like that. And it's like, nah, dude, I'm tagging him, dude. Also,
No, but I'm with.
You go. My bad.
I was gonna say I'm with Colin on the fact that I think there's just too much of it. Like I don't know, it was a bit brutal. I think, especially when if it led to something more meaningful, in more circumstances, I feel like it would have been fine. But it's like we just kill a bunch of people, and it's like nothing like
Yeah, who cares?
useful.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, no,
conclusion.
people-
You just commit fucking mass
And,
murder.
Man, if
And
you
then
guys
the-
did any of those street crimes, that shit had me laughing, dude.
A lot of
You
them were funny
you
as
pull
hell.
you pull off for lunch, a lunch break, dude, on your job as a detective. Pull off for this little investigation. There's a little crime scene you got to rush to real quick. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, and you show up, and these guys
He's a
are
cop killer.
yeah, you just kill somebody and then just pull out the phone, and go, yeah, one dead, and then just go on with your day. You just drive off. It's like, what?
Well, sometimes
you
it'd be
just
like a
killed
massive
somebody, bro.
shootout that like this would be like national news, but
Oh,
just
dude,
another
that's why
day in the life of Officer Cole Phelps.
that's why Reefer Madness is a bad mission. It just ends with you fucking shooting up a soup factory.
Dude, we love soup.
No, that is every mission in that Vice shit. Shoot up the fucking ice factory. Shoot up the soup
Shoot
factory.
up the soup.
Shoot up the fucking building. Oh, and then he jumps out the window.
And I also find it hard to believe that they had weed of that quality in the 1940s.
That shit looked bunk. What do you mean?
No, those buds were huge.
Well, and let me tell you about the postal inaccuracies in this game, dude. Well, that post office is not correct. There's a lot of issues there.
Go, do tell.
Also, you looking at all these mailboxes? There's no arrow key. How is the postman supposed to open any of these things, dude? Doesn't make sense.
This is the biggest gripe.
Doesn't make
This
sense.
is the worst thing.
We've unfurled a new conspiracy here.
And go behind the counter at the post office after you murder everyone in it. That ain't no post office, dude. Not anyone I've seen.
You don't live in LA in the 40s.
I know mail.
My
Knows his
favorite
mail.
My favorite gun missions were the hostage situations because I was 6 for 6 in shooting the fucking guy in the head when he was holding a hostage, dude. They couldn't get away from me. No hostage was injured under the fucking long arm of the law that Cole Phelps had.
Are those just all the street missions?
Yeah, the street missions
Didn't do
where
a
it's like,
single one.
No, some of the hostage ones were not street missions.
Really? I don't remember any hostage.
Dude, honestly, the street missions were kind of fire, but the problem is that like you had to get to the street missions by getting in the car and like driving and then like waiting for the radio to come on so you could go to the street mission.
Yeah, and I never drove
if you just
around.
went from like 1 to 1, like if you could just go to them anywhere, anytime, then it would have been a lot better. Because
I
otherwise
think
you
it
had to
makes no
wait for them to
sense.
drip feed them to you.
It
I think I
makes
did
no
about half of
sense.
them.
They should have simply just had a trigger for that street mission at that part of the street if you show up there.
Yeah,
And it's
instead of having to wait. Because usually it's like you got to drive across the entire map in order to get to the mission.
And not joking, like unironically, like it's like respond. And I clicked it and I started driving over in that direction on my mini map. I drove for 5 full minutes and then checked my map and I'm like, oh, like I'm a third of the way there. It's across the entire map to do.
You can get out of the car and make the other dude drive even to the street missions, but still.
The game should not be open world.
It doesn't
doesn't
make
need
sense
it
for it to be an open world game.
and maybe I would feel differently if it was like if I was in LA, you know, like if it's like, oh, I know this street, you know.
Well, apparently it's like a pretty good like recreation of like 1940s LA, but
I cannot believe that there is that little traffic
no one could afford cars, dude.
in 1940s in LA. That's sus.
Well,
It should be like bumper to bumper, like most of the time. Like that would make the game so bad, but
I think I just hate open world because it's all any game is now. But I guess back then it was probably
it was definitely
less
novel.
egregious.
It was definitely novel back then.
Well, this game also came out in Cover Shooter City. That's why it's a cover shooter still. This game did not need to be a cover shooter by any means.
I mean, this game it's got like the same shooting as like GTA, so it's like if you like to play GTA shooting, like
I think the issue is it's
game
just like those games have a lot more variety with like guns and like there's just more going on.
Storyline's crazier. There's more shit in it.
This is just like there's I think what 3 guns, 4 if you include the flamethrower.
But I feel like
Yeah.
nobody would make this game again.
No, they could make it without
Like,
the,
imagine
the face
if
shit,
CD Projekt Red like took the same engine for like Cyberpunk, and they're like, all right, we're gonna make some random detective game in the Cyberpunk universe.
I would play the shit out of it. I would love that game.
Yeah, but I think that's more of a problem with just like AAA gaming though, because none of those games take risks anymore.
Yes, and I don't know if this game was successful or not in terms of money making. I remember
have no idea.
it was like it got a lot of news when it came out. I remember that.
Well, it's like Kingdoms of Amalur, where the company that made this got pretty much dissolved immediately.
Yeah,
Team
Rockstar
Bondi
Games.
or whatever.
Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar.
Who's only made
Well-
like 3 games after this.
Well, you do know Rockstar from hit classics as a Ping Pong on the 360 launch title for the 360 Ping Pong.
Well, that's the thing,
course.
dude. Back then, they used to just make other games because it didn't take them 7 years to make a fucking game.
Right.
And
They
now-
were always like the game company that still took a long time, even at the time.
Yeah,
Which
but a long time then was like 2 to 3 years.
they made more money on GTA 5 than any other media has made money on any single product before. If GTA 6 gets released with any problems, I'm flaming.
Well, I mean,
fucking furious.
It's going to have a million problems.
Then that means that gaming has gotten to such a point where money can't solve the issues with it, and that's insane to me.
No, it's not. Well, it's not even that. It's just the budgets have been. It's the same thing with fucking movies, dude. The same thing is. It's why every Marvel movie is just mid, in my opinion. They have these huge budgets, and it's just like the same cookie cutter shit over and over again. It's not even just Marvel. It's like all movies. Huge budget, cookie cutter. Push it
I
out.
looked it up. I just guessed that they made 3 games. They have made 3 games after LA Noire.
Yeah, what is
They're
it?
gonna
GTA?
the 4th one is gonna be GTA 6.
So
Yeah.
what? 5 Red Dead 2, and then
5
Red Dead.
Red Dead 2 and Max Payne 3.
Oh my fucking god, Max!
Remember
Payne
that
3.
game?
Jesus Christ, that is a horrible game. People love it. I hate it.
I don't know who these people are, but
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that I would get an LA Noire 2 at some point. I can pretty safely say 12 years later, I'm not getting another LA Noire.
We'll probably get like an indie game or like a AA game that's like similar.
I don't know. I mean, the only things that we know about what Rockstar's up to is GTA 6 and apparently a new Max Payne 1 and 2 remake project.
Well,
It
the
hasn't-
last remake they did was pretty ass, wasn't it? Fucking the GTA remake,
I didn't even
the
know
double-
if that was
like
a
the
remake.
remaster
Like
or
a
whatever.
AI remaster. Terrible.
The AA versus AAA thing, like everybody's like, oh man, AAA gaming's like destroyed or whatever. Nobody ever talks about how great indie and AA gaming has gotten.
What do you mean nobody? Everybody's talking about that.
Well, it's just not brought up in the same conversation. They're just
Well,
like 2 completely different conversations.
But
I feel
people,
like you need to
people
keep
just
that
like to
as-
talk negative.
Yeah,
It's more fun to be like boo than
Yeah,
just like
but-
yeah, but this is good.
Ubisoft continues to suck. Big fucking like, who would have guessed? You know, like
Well, then you get in this huge thing too. It's because like
Ubisoft isn't going to exist, and
yeah,
probably
it's
by
gonna
the
be
end of the year,
Embracer, dude.
someone's going to buy the IPs probably separately.
But it's like people get mad when they call Dave the Diver an indie game
why?
because it's
What?
made by Nexon. So is it really an indie game?
I feel like you can develop a game and then have a big publisher. Like Team Bondi made this game; it's published by Rockstar.
I feel like if your development team is like double digits,
you're not
then
really indie,
right?
even if it's pixel.
If you've got like literally like a 10-person development team, then like yeah, that's an indie game, no matter who's publishing it.
Like
Depending on your, I mean, if it's 10 people, but your budget's like $20 million, then I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest No Man's Sky fan, but No Man's Sky is an indie game, 100%.
Absolutely
It was just published
not.
by
No.
Sony.
Absolutely not. I think
Hello Games had like 11 people in it.
that doesn't. They got a blank.
And,
Okay,
like-
but is Death Stranding
like
an indie game?
$10 million blank check investment into the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe my like idea of it is different. I'm thinking of like factory churned games.
He said, you can do literally anything in this game. And someone went, holy shit, like I'd invest in that. And then they didn't make that.
It's the size of the whole universe, dude.
He wasn't
you meet up
lying,
with your
dude.
friends, look, it's multiplayer, just not multiplayer.
Just-
Hey, some
Nah.
people like it, dude. They fixed some stuff.
It's better than it was, that's for sure. But
I give them credit because they did nothing for 10 years or however long it was, just fixing the game. And apparently
I give
it's
them
good.
credit that it's good now, but
Yeah.
like I genuinely think it should have been like a criminal investigation when it first.
Oh,
released.
yeah.
Like the amount of investment in that company and people who like bought it as like the next like big game and all that, like it was just such a flop. You're like, I can play with my twins. It's just like not multiplayer.
People do this with every game though. Cyberpunk, same shit. It was
Well, yeah,
like,
but
they lied. They lied about
that-
every single thing.
But they didn't even lie with Cyberpunk. They did everything they promised except the game just didn't function. Like, you know what I mean?
And even then, it did though. Like me and Frank beat it. It was
yeah,
it was
I didn't
buggy,
think
but
it was overblown. I think people. What happened was people just they were kind of vague about what the game was going to be and wasn't going to be. And people had like nuts expectations, and I
Yeah.
don't know why. Because I remember for so like, dude, this could be like the greatest game ever created. It's gonna personally like do my laundry and my dishes for me. Like it's gonna have every single possible mechanic in the history of time in it. And then it came out, and it was just like a pretty decent like open world RPG.
it's insane. It's CD Projekt Red. It's The Witcher 3, but first
like,
person and cyber.
yeah.
It's like it's
It is
exactly what
it
you should
is.
have expected.
The irony of Cyberpunk being rushed out due to corporate greed, given the game's storyline and the IP that it took, is hilarious to me.
Yeah, we'll see.
'Cause the game took
Witcher
what?
4 is going to be the greatest game ever made of all time.
Witcher 4?
Yeah.
No. I have a huge problem with the Witcher series, all right? And I like The Witcher. I like the Witcher universe. I even watched the show. I'm a Witcher fan. The game should let you play
Not
a
so many.
mage. I get that you have to play a Witcher because it's called Witcher, but the mages in that universe are so fucking sick. Just let me play a mage.
Be in the new one, dude. The game's not coming out till 2030 anyway.
Yeah.
So,
That was
LA
like
Noire.
That's true. We are
Back
talking about
that.
LA Noire.
Back to the 1940s.
What do you think about the music in this game?
There is.
I don't know. You like jazz?
I do like jazz.
I don't know how to. Do you guys know how to change the radio station? in
I
this
never
game?
drove the car.
The radio stations were something, but
I
I
only
like
drove the car
in the
when I
game.
went
The
and
music that
found
was
a-
playing is good.
a special vehicle.
So when I was driving around Industrial Avenue for no reason apparently, there was this like sitcom on the radio about this dude that bought a dog and the chick bought the dog and the dude didn't like it. And I had to listen to this whole thing cuz I didn't know how to turn the radio off or change the radio station. And I want to know how much content is in this radio shit.
A lot, Frank. Let me tell you, I was driving down the road and some bullshit like podcast type shit came on, and they were just yapping. I got out of the car and I hijacked somebody. That's how I changed the radio station. Hijacking the
Dude, and like the set design in this game is probably the best I've ever seen in a game. It's up there, like top 5 set design I've ever seen. Because like
the Indiana Jones one.
Like the rooms look lived in. The bars and buildings that you can go into, like everything looks exactly how
Everything
it's
except for the
supposed to.
post office, apparently.
Yeah, that's
post
bad.
Office looks bad, but I
Hold
don't
on,
have
dude.
the post office.
When I first started the game, dude, I saw a lady walking down the road eating a hot dog with her eyeball. She was putting that shit in her eyeball, dude. I wish I recorded it. It was insane.
Oh, fuck, dude.
I was like, you need to follow some
We've
of those
we've all
NPCs,
been there.
dude.
We've all been there.
That's that Chicago style dog, dude. That's what happens to them.
Shit.
There is some NPC issues, such as me telling my partner to drive and him just standing on the stairs or standing on the sidewalk and saying, "Hold on, I gotta do this
Yeah.
first," and he's doing nothing, like
But-
clearly.
Don't you love when
How do you feel about the one voice recording for when you call into the lady and she goes, "How can I help, detective?"
How can I help, detective? A job that no longer exists.
even when you're Kelso?
Yeah.
It's the
No, she's
same
"How can I
way.
help?" Did she say something else?
No,
I
she
don't
says
remember.
detective.
They couldn't even change it, dude.
Still detective. How can I help, detective?
I
No.
love when you go to get in your car and you're like, you drive, and you have to wait for this dude to find his way out of the police station. 'Cause
Sometimes they don't find their way out of the
Yeah.
police station. You just sit
That's what I'm
there. You have to
saying,
get out of the car and go wake up his AI so it can come follow you again.
One time,
Right.
I'm
You guys don't know about that speedrun tech of just drive to the location and the cutscene brings the person to you.
No. I'm not driving.
No, that's not.
I gotta
speedrunning.
check my notes.
Yeah, I have to go over the case notes. It'd be the very beginning of the case. He goes, "I have to go over my case notes." Like, what case notes? We don't know anything. You
Just imagine like a detective, like, nah, I can't drive. I gotta go no, every day.
fuck you, dude. Get in the car.
But there's like so many so many things that you don't need to read. Like there's a in the DLC mission there's a microfilm that you find. And
Pointless.
it's pointless. They did an entire schematic of
And you can read it.
of an idea that I don't even know actually exists.
I think it
Like,
does.
Yeah, to
I'm
like
sure.
like trim aluminum or some shit, shine aluminum or some shit,
Electroplate.
dude.
That seed oil.
Yeah,
For
with
better,
grapeseed oil.
I'm pretty sure
And-
it's a different kind of seed oil, but
All right. Either way, but like you don't have to look at that, but they made it. It's like they made so many things to put in this
I think the
game.
best example is the InstaHeat flyer. That
Yeah.
had the whole thing. Talk about it's a glass lined flyer. There's gonna last 5-year warranty. Talk about the installation fee. Like all this information is on the card. Colville picks it up for 5 seconds. He's like, "Oh, it's got all the information we need on it. Here we go."
Anyone 100% the game?
There's like
Hell
full
no.
insurance
I
documents.
gave up at the very end. I didn't have time.
I found one shield and one film reel,
You didn't find all the cars.
and I found I don't know.
found all the cars.
That's crazy.
I would
You're
go to a-
fucking insane.
I would go to a location that's supposed to have a secret car in it. It says secret car on the map. I go to that location and like where the car
find
is
the
locked.
garage. You gotta find the garage marked with the.
You have to sneak in and steal it like a good
Gotta wait
cop.
for the
Wait,
full moon,
How do you
dude, and then
get in the
Bigfoot.
garage?
There's a
Did you
door
love
next
how,
to it, and if you go near the door, the garage just opens.
When you
I
join the
fucking
Vice
hate
Squad
this.
and you
Never
get in the
mind.
car,
This game sucks.
and they're like, "Wow, the office really paid for this car." He goes, "No, this is my personal car. Why the fuck am I driving it then? This is your
You know
fucking
what's ridiculous?
car."
I don't know if it's a bug or what, but at some points it just decides to choose what your car is. So like I don't know. You can bring some civilian's car to a mission, finish the mission, and then you still have the civilian's car.
Right.
Sometimes it'll swap it back to your original car. I don't know if it's a timer thing that it checks what you're
No, I think it's
in
if
and
the
gives
car's in a cutscene, then you have to use their car or whatever.
There's somewhat of
Well,
a
but
car
it
Easter
gives you the same one like often as well. So it's kind of obnoxious when I get a special car and then drive around in it, and then afterwards they give me fucking some random truck. And I'm
Nah,
like, oh.
Briggs 6 slow ass fucking Studebaker, dude.
There you go.
the guy at the hangar, it's he's driving a Turner Torpedo, and there's a movie on the Turner Torpedo. That car, I think, is the reason why everyone has seatbelts. And
people
I don't know, it's
died.
an interesting movie.
Did you drive that car? I got in it,
Yeah.
and they're like, "We can't drive this thing." I'm like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean?"
I'm driving it, bro.
No, big Turner Torpedo fan. It supposedly got like 36 miles to the gallon in the 1940s, which is
Wait, that's actually a
insane.
lot.
That's what I'm saying. That car
How's
was
that even
revolutionary.
It probably went 60 miles an hour.
They used leaded fuel.
I used that That seed oil.
Everything is seed oil.
That new seed oil concoction.
The chemist is just blowing people up in the middle of the cop place.
And they didn't need to make that shit look like a Fallout nuke. That was a little dramatic.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, damn, we really hit in the Cold War.
No way this wouldn't be something that I would have read about in a history book. If there was an explosion that leveled like 6 blocks in LA.
With a mushroom cloud.
Yeah. They're like, oh, the Ruskies are attacking us. And the guy goes, oh, if it
I
was
was
the
ready. I was
radiation
ready
would have killed us. And then the guy goes, what's radiation? Different times.
I was ready to solve the whole like federal investigation, but it turns out it was just corporate greed, not knowing the science behind oil. It's like, dude.
Yeah, and there's like a whole espionage thing. There's like, oh, this Akamoto spy bitch that you never see her.
Nowhere.
You don't find her. There's no espionage angle. She's just out and about at the end of the mission.
No, you just gotta go shoot up Roy Earl 1.0.
And that's also just like simply not how that happens. They tried to set up like some Oppenheimer type fucking thing, but like it's not like bro wouldn't have ever tested this on a scale and just get like
just pouring it into a 100-gallon vat.
Just run it, boys. Like that just wouldn't have happened ever. Like no matter what.
Yeah, isn't the whole concept is he brought in people that knew how to do this?
Yeah, and they just dumped it in a 100-gallon vat. And
No, it was experimental.
They didn't test it, though? Horrible mission.
Didn't really make much sense.
Horribly placed.
Rest in peace, Cole Phelps, dude.
No, he died in a dumb way, dude.
He did.
Was he a war hero, though?
Way.
No, because they had the Thanos cutscene reveal at the end, and everyone said, "Oh, bro wasn't really a hero. He duped us," and then we don't know what any of that means, and we don't get closure on that either.
He was the only one who survived. That was the thing that he did.
I mean, but like they were also alive there.
But it was like his fault that they all died anyways because he didn't want to leave.
He gave bad commands.
And then he told the flamethrower guy to go into the cave, but apparently there was a hospital in this fucking cave.
And then the one guy shoots him.
Yeah. And then he's like, Courtney Sheldon was a good guy.
Yeah.
The guy that shot me in the war.
Yeah, that is just wild. That bro just shot him as well. Like,
and then Kelso's like, nothing that happened in this cave will leave this cave. Do you understand me? So nobody ever found out this dude just shot his supervisor. Like,
Cole Phelps as a character makes he loves everybody. Dudes that shoot him. Everyone hates
Japanese.
him. He's speaking Japanese somehow.
Oh,
somehow
yeah.
This dude learned Japanese.
Dude, I completely forgot about that, dude. He's interrogating the Japanese prisoners of war, and he just smacks one across the face, and he's like, I love the Japanese. And
he's like, you don't understand. That's how they have to. That's how it's a part of the culture. I had to slap the shit out of him. It was important.
He was hitting doubt back then, dude.
I guess so. But then he's like, well, how would you feel if if they took the oil from, like, he was like, bro, are you sure you're in the right war? Like, you seem pretty sympathetic.
And he was such a fucking teacher's pet too. Like in basic training, he's like, Ramirez 10, Kelso 2. You suck. Like you couldn't give your homie a point. Like, I don't know, man.
Dude. Had to set it up for later, dude. When he saves Kelso's life, and then dies in the sewer.
He needed Kelso's help, dude.
You guys don't like the deep juxtaposition between the guy with the flamethrower in the sewer and Cole Phelps drowning like a fire and water type thing?
No, that's stupid. If you thought of that just now, you weren't. Right? Did you ever watch that video?
I did not watch that 2-hour long LA Noire is almost perfect video.
I was going to watch it.
I realized that the game was not almost perfect.
Wait, you didn't watch the almost 3-hour Baroque video that just dropped?
I watched more of that video than the other video.
That's crazy.
The Baroque video was pretty redundant, though.
Yeah. Well, we're one of the few people that actually played that game, so.
Yeah.
All two of you.
There has to be less than 50 people that have beaten Baroque.
Agreed. It's a game that is for video essays.
Yeah.
Through that.
I give this game a 8.
8.
What the fucker?
On my birthday? Yeah. You gonna do that on my birthday?
That's crazy.
I give it an 8.
So it's better than Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yes.
What was the last game we played?
Okami, dude.
Oh, it's better than Okami?
Oh
It's
yeah.
better than Okami.
Oh yeah.
What did I say Okami was? I don't remember.
Okami has infinitely more charm.
If this game had more piss in it, maybe it would be better than Okami. That was a joke.
It
The
wasn't.
callback to your Okami piss fetish fan theory.
It's not a fan. It's not a fan, dude.
It's the perfect demon fang.
It's in the
farming.
game, bro. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Bravdo loves Demon Fang
I
Farming.
mean, Okami's getting a sequel. This game ain't. That says something.
Yeah, it's getting a
Okami was
sequel
probably
2
cheaper to make.
decades later.
I am stoked for the Okami sequel. I
No,
think
you're
that-
not.
Yeah, no, I will play that.
It'll probably be better.
It better be better. The fuck?
They'll have learned, or it'll be worse.
No, that game's gonna be horrible. They don't know what makes like.
It's gonna be Dark
charm.
Souls now.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
That's every game.
Yeah,
Yep. That's what they're gonna do though.
Well, by the time it comes out, that might be played out.
it's a woman with a sword.
Might be a cover shooter. We might circle back.
Okami cover shooter. Now that would be fire. Honestly, I know we hate 7s here, but
Here we go.
I'm giving this game a 6.
That's where I'm at too. It's a 6.
Oh, that's where I'm at too. It's a 6.
Oh, Frank's the
Damn.
fucking. You're the glazer.
Yeah, it's my game though. That's the job.
You
of
can't
the
glaze
game
your
developer.
own game.
That's
to be fair, the game's
That's what I
the
did.
thing that's propping it up as a 6 is like the actual.
There are some like legendary moments in this game. I'm not gonna lie, but like as an overall 30-hour experience, it's a little bit of a slog.
Yeah, I think it's too long. There's too many, like, for every good mission, there's one that's horribly stupid. And I just think it didn't age that well. Especially
Yeah.
like the open world shit. I'm just
The 30
over open world.
FPS.
Yeah.
And the fact
think-
that this isn't even like the complete version of the game pisses me off. Like maybe
And
if
the
they
DLC
remade
missions
this
drag
game
it
and it was
down.
better, then this game would be better.
This might be the only game I've ever played where the DLC missions add nothing and actually detract from the game.
Well, it's because they force them into the story. Like, if they just put them as like optional content, which is what they should be and what they
Yeah.
are, instead of being like, oh, you have to play them to beat the game.
Yeah,
That's
they
just
it doesn't
stupid.
even tell you it's a DLC. You just have to know that they're DLC missions after the fact.
For lower
And the
props,
Naked
this
City
game
is
I'll give
terrible.
a 6.
Well, the things that it does well, I think that like gets like an 8, a 9, or a 10 in. It's just
Right.
there are so many things that it gets like an actual like 1/0 in, that it brings it like so far down. Like the story would be so like it would overall be 1 or 2 points higher if there was any like bow on top of any portion of any part of the story, whether it's the overarching bit or even if it was just like some side things that we got rectified or resolved in some way. Like the story is a huge one for me, especially in these like single player games where the main appeal is the gameplay and the story. And this one kind of didn't really have one at the end. It was cool and I was following it. And then I feel like I just like wasted 30 hours following it because there was nothing really other than, all right, bro died. The thing.
Yeah, I didn't cry for
thing
Cold
might have gotten taken down. We don't know how that all worked out. So that's cool. All of the other jobs we worked, we never found the resolution for the murders when we were working homicide or like any of that, like a bigger, like we're like, oh, you think there's something bigger going on here? Yeah, you're getting promoted. Like everything's just like that, you know what I mean? And it's very weird. And I feel like it takes away from the game. But the gameplay itself, like, I don't know. Even though I skipped a lot of it, like the driving was decent. The actual missions were kind of fun. They got dragged on much too long, too many of them. But I don't know, like those things get like an 8 or maybe even higher, but it's just missing a lot.
I agree entirely.
The game has it's like a terrible story told awesomely.
It's like engaging enough that I wanted to keep knowing more.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Like the
but
way
I
it
kept
all
feeling like
unfolds
let
is
down.
so cool. Like the whole conspiracy is awesome. It's an awesome conspiracy. But at like the end of the day, like the beats of the story are just like they're just kind of whack, and then it doesn't really resolve as well as you think it's going to.
Yeah, the concepts are way better than the execution. The concept of trying to catch the Black Dahlia murderer is way cooler than fighting some religious zealot in a fucking like chapel. And like I said earlier, the overarching story, the big one, with the heroin and the war and the houses burning down and
Yeah.
like all of that's sick.
I love how actually like the conspiracy itself like involves all like the homicide, it involves the arson, and it involves the vice, like it's all intertwined, and you like uncover different parts of it by being in the different parts of the agency.
And Dr. Fontaine, I think he's in one of the greatest villains like ever.
Dude,
Dr.
that shit was
Fontaine
hype. And
is one of my favorite characters.
He's like the biggest piece of shit on planet Earth.
At the beginning, when you'd never actually met him, and the only thing you knew was from like the newspaper, like headlines you'd watch and stuff, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of fire. I want to follow this." And then,
Then he gets hugged to death.
yeah.
Because like I don't think there is a single portion of this character that isn't nefarious. I think he is one of the most nefarious like people in fiction, where he like every part of him is detestable. Like he's fine with stealing, and he's fine with people dying, and he's fine with like using mentally ill people to do his bidding, and fucking over his friends, like complete total sociopath. Really crazy villain. And I think that's what popped it up from a 7 to an 8 for me, is Dr. Fontaine's character.
You don't even confront Dr. Fontaine at all. Like he just gets killed. Like it'd be like if you were watching a James Bond movie and the evil guy in the James Bond movie just like dies for some reason, like not having anything to do with with what James Bond was doing.
I kind of hated that he was just like, we're doing that, we're starting up the mission, and I was like, oh, and he's on the ground. I was like, well, that's how that story ends.
And now you gotta go kill the guy that killed him. Like that's the.
I think that was the best way for Fontaine to die, though.
It does. It's like cathartic.
I think it would have been peak if like things are slowly getting resolved and they tell us like how things went. Like this guy got fucked, whatever. And then Fontaine, dude, we don't know, dude.
There you go.
He got a plane out to Spain, dude. That's what happened to Dr. Fontaine.
Fontaine got a plane to Spain.
Dude, I'm out of here.
Dude, they killed the big bad, and then
there's another big bad.
No, you end up chasing a guy who's not even actually bad. A mentally ill dude with a flamethrower that was manipulated.
Yeah, like
that's not a bad guy.
What do you mean, dude?
Did kidnap that chick though.
He's fucked in the head.
He kidnapped the chick, but like saved her, but he didn't really like mean to save her.
Yeah, it was like some King Kong shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that's intentional.
No.
Yeah,
let me make a 2-hour video essay. Hold on.
In the water.
Yeah, the flamethrower guy was actually an allegory for King Kong.
That brings us all back to Cubivore.
All right, I'm out here.
Cubivore.
6.
6.
What's the next game?
8.
Oh, the next game is for real gamers, dude.
Oh,
so
coming up.
You're really gonna show your true colors.
It's gonna be a 70-hour text only game for like Windows Live.
It's a shorter game. It's a short game. It's like 10 hours, so you don't gotta no pressure.
We'll see.
Not like you 20-hour gamers, dude.
Yeah, 70-hour black whatever it's called.
Here we go, dude. Drop the link ski. There's the other link ski.
What the fuck is this?
Lunacid, dude.
I'm watching, dude.
Some fire.
Horror ARPG.
Wait, this might be some peak. This got
This is
some
this is some-
PlayStation 1 type
This
peak.
is some fire, dude.
Is
Real
this
gamers
Broke
only.
2? Is this
No,
what we're playing?
it might look like that, but it's more up your alley, I think.
Wait, this is actually peak. This is
Where do you
actually just
find
a
these games?
PlayStation 1 game.
There's
Dude,
actually
I go on Reddit and they go, "Anyone found Lunacid to be a bit of a disappointment?" Question mark. Literally, the first thing that comes up.
Is this the question I have is this
I'm
a
locked
move
in.
around however you want, or is this a lock in?
What do you
Is
mean?
this like square based?
fire. No, I'm so locked in.
Square base? What do you mean?
Like
Oh,
it's a first person dungeon crawler, right?
yes.
You know how like a lot of those are like based on tile systems where you move one square.
Yeah,
and
it's
then you
not
move another
that.
square? It's not that. Okay, then
You can
I'm turbo into it.
No,
From-
this is so peak.
From what I understand, you can actually level up your deck so much that you move around like a boomer shooter.
You say deck?
Your decks, dexterity.
Oh, dexterity. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought this was also a card game, and I was
Wait,
about to.
you're telling me we're gonna
Oh.
start like bunny hopping like Doom type
It
shit?
it increases your jump height and your speed.
It's so over. Wait, we're locked in.
No, I'm telling you, this game, dude.
I'm gonna finish this game by
You're
tomorrow.
gonna finish it tonight.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna post.
He's gonna
this
100%
tomorrow.
it, dude.
Oh no, dude.
This is the 100% Forlo game. See, I knew Forlo would like it.
I haven't even like. I just looked at the trailer with the Steam thing you sent me.
There's actually a graphic option in the menu to make it PS1, like more PS1.
Well, because like it just looks like it's very
Yeah.
like in the era of PlayStation 1 ending and the PlayStation 2 maybe have just came out. That's exactly what it looks like.
There's a
That's
crow
wild.
that sells you stuff named Cheryl the Crow, dude.
That's hilarious. I went on like a 3-day binge to find first person RPGs, and this never came up. I don't know how you found this.
Well, I'm always, dude. I got a whole list of games you've never heard of that you'll eventually hear of.
Oh Lord!
What do you mean? I come with the unique shit.
And yet nobody ever played my game.
We played
What?
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Yeah, dude.
I have no fucking clue what Brabdo's gonna pick next, but I'm stoked.
You
for
know who
Lucid.
also doesn't have a fucking clue?
Yeah, Bravdo.
Me. We'll see how this game goes.
I'm gonna pick some garbage next time.
No.
You guys lock in. I'm sorry to tell you.
70-hour RPG.
No, that's the one thing that I'll never pick. Is,
Oh, I'm doing that next time.
I'll never pick something insanely long that I've never even like had a recommendation about. But if it's dog shit, it'll at least be like quick and painless. Quick and painful, maybe. But quick.
I am personally in full damage mitigation mode. After Spiritfarer, I am done risking anything, dude.
Well, you haven't even offended these two with your picks, dude.
Nope, not yet. But
Like how I've been offended.
but
Dude, I've been pretty lucky. I don't think there's been a single game that's like even remotely close to the absurd tier of having to complete yet.
like Recore, and fucking Werewolf, and then Spiritfarer. I'm like, I can't take risks anymore.
I mean, these two didn't have to play Baroque.
Yeah.
Oh
Thank
my
God for
god.
that. Thank
You guys
God
should
for
try
that.
it.
Nope.
You know, if you have some
No.
extra time this month after you 100% Lunacid,
I'll
try
play
Baroque.
Tales of the Abyss again.
Fire. That was long, but fire.
Yeah, that was probably the longest to complete one that I played. But-
Xenoblade Chronicles X, dude.
Yeah, that was a long.
That was
game.
insane.
All right, I got it downloaded, dude. I'm booting.
All right. Any
Oh, we are
closing
4 days
statements?
in.
Alrighty.
Yeah, dude. I gotta get
Lock in, dude. That's the closing statement.